She was broke, humiliated, and dumped for being a failure. He was a cold billionaire who didn't believe in love. One fake relationship, one explosive kiss, and one night that changed both their lives forever. Go-Darim has spent 5 years chasing the civil service dream and failing, not because she isn't capable, but because job interviews haunt her like a nightmare. Humiliated for her plain looks, her background, and family history, she's given up on corporate life, until her younger sister, embarrassed by Darim's unemployment, sends her on an all-expense-paid trip to Jeju instead of letting her attend the wedding. Optimistic as ever, Darim hopes the trip will be a chance to forget her ex, Kim Jong-won, the AI genius who cruelly compared her to a limp piece of spinach during their breakup. But luck isn't on her side. At the airport, she's greeted with his huge guest lecture banner. Ugh! And in Jeju, she runs into him in person, dating her old high school friend. Double ugh! To save face, Darim invents a boyfriend on the spot. Enter Gong Ji-hyuk, our male lead. A ruthless, playboy CEO with no interest in love, whose latest deal just happens to require Jongwon's cooperation. Fate puts them in the same hotel. When Darim drunkenly mistakes Ji-hyuk for a man about to jump off a cliff, she flails, faints, and causes him to hurt his hand. Hospital bills? On her dime. The next morning, Darim's boyfriend story collides perfectly with Ji-hyuk's plans to approach Jongwon for business. They pretend to be a couple, much to the ex's frustration. Ji-hyuk dazzles her with a Cinderella-style transformation, the perfect makeover for Darim, and together they attend a party, pulling off an impeccable charade while subtly making Jongwon jealous. And then comes the Dynamite Kiss. Under the fireworks, Darim silences Ji-hyuk to save their secret, but the kiss leaves them both reeling, sparking feelings neither expected. Life back in Seoul throws new challenges their way. Darim's family faces financial ruin after her sister's failed wedding, and Ji-hyuk is pressured by his father into an arranged marriage and a corporate role at Natural BB, a company run by moms with underqualified resumes. The perfect opening for Darim, who now must apply for a job she's unqualified for, as a pretend mother. Fate reunites the two. Darim, desperate and clever, uses her bond with Sunwoo's child, June, to fake motherhood on her job application. Ji-hyuk, now both her fake boyfriend and her interviewer, is stunned to see her again, setting the stage for a series of hilarious, heart-fluttering encounters. From a Cinderella makeover to secret kisses and clever revenge on exes, their story is just getting started. From heartbreak to sparks, fake romance to real feelings, one Jeju trip turned everything upside down, and it all started with a dynamite kiss. Darim arrives at Natural BB for her interview, nerves running high. Ji-hyuk, busy excusing himself to the restroom, misses the start, leaving Darim to overcompensate with her energy and enthusiasm. Fortunately, her skills don't matter. Ji-hai, intent on hiring an incompetent team to sabotage Ji-hyuk, barely notices her performance. Ji-hyuk, meanwhile, is biding his time at the company. He plans to work quietly for 6 months, focusing on freeing his mother from his father's control. Marriage proposals and love don't interest him, but he can't stop thinking about Darim and the dynamite kiss. That evening, Darim receives encouragement from Seon-yu, who reminds her of the confident, resourceful woman she once was. His words give her the push she needs, and soon, she learns she's been hired. Overjoyed, she celebrates with him before preparing for her new 6-month internship. On her first day, Darim meets the Mother TF team. Nansuk, Jin-hee, and Goon. Ji-hyuk is introduced as their team leader, and their worlds collide. Ji-hyuk is shocked to learn that Darim is a married mother to a 6-year-old, a detail that leaves him both incredulous and amused. Darim's quick thinking and audacity fluster him further, especially when she downplays their kiss as a momentary lapse after arguing with her husband. Ji-hyuk demands her resignation by day's end, but Darim refuses to back down. Meanwhile, Hayoung struggles with her own ambitions, attempting to convince her father to let her manage a photography exhibit. She crosses paths with Seon-yu, whose art she admires, but he rebuffs her. Still determined, she leaves her contact information, planting seeds for future interactions. Back at Natural BB, the Mother TF team learns they are essentially temporary employees, meant to occupy Ji-hyuk for 6 months. Darim encourages them to work hard anyway, seeing it as their chance to prove themselves. True to form, she throws herself into the first major task, a grueling field test to check whether baby bottles shrink during sterilization. Ji-hyuk sets up the review outdoors, hoping to exhaust her. Chun-gu, spying on her, accidentally causes a fire during the process. Ji-hyuk rushes to save Darim, only for her to extinguish the fire herself with a fire extinguisher. In the chaos, he hugs her reflexively, a moment of genuine connection breaking through his stern facade. Darim delivers the completed results, but Ji-hyuk blames her for carelessness and insists she quit. She refuses, defending her hard work. The lucky cloverleaf she had given him earlier is discarded by Ji-hyuk in frustration, though it's clear their tension has stirred deeper feelings. The next day, the Mother TF team receives praise for their diligence, leaving Ji-hye frustrated that her plan to undermine Ji-hyuk failed. Ji-hyuk, meanwhile, avoids showing up at the office, focusing instead on swimming and running to distract himself from thoughts of Darim. But she won't give up. She tracks him down to deliver the team's report in person. Ji-hyuk accuses her of always trying to gain an advantage, but Darim calmly insists she cannot afford to be careless. When he refuses to listen, she jumps into the pool, unable to swim, forcing him to rescue her once more. Held in his arms, the two share a charged, flustered moment, the tension between them almost too strong to resist. Darim's resilience and boldness challenges Ji-hyuk's control, while Ji-hyuk's concern for her hints that their professional rivalry is becoming intensely personal. Darim's poolside ordeal continues as Ji-hyuk rescues her from drowning. Concerned, he asks why she jumped in, and Darim explains she wants to live, while also pleading for him to read through the reports she worked on overnight. Later, he drives her home, offering advice on making a solid report, unable to hide a small smile at her earnestness. At home, Darim's troubles multiply. Loan sharks are waiting for her. She lies about her identity, but Ji-hyuk, realizing she forgot her phone in his car, returns just in time. When the loan sharks see him, Darim grabs Ji-hyuk and they run, eventually hiding in a discarded closet. Their near-kiss is interrupted when Seon-yu arrives, introducing himself as her husband. Ji-hyuk steps back, silently frustrated as Seon-yu carries Darim home. That night, Darim works late on the reports using Ji-hyuk's prior work as a reference. Meanwhile, Ji-hyuk drinks alone, his friend Jae-young-min teasing him about his jealousy, which he denies. The next morning, he reluctantly shows up at work, where Darim presents her report. He misinterprets her words about making a seductive report, but the Mother TF team applauds her diligence. Though subtly calling him out for failing to lead, Darim defends him. Seon-yu, concerned about Darim's financial struggles, visits Hayoung's company. He overhears Hayoung's mother disparaging his work and quickly excuses himself. Simultaneously, Ji-hyuk is forced to confront his mother's accident. Visiting her in the hospital, he is reminded of his painful childhood trauma, his father's betrayal and his mother's suicide attempt, shaping his cynical view of love. At the hospital, Darim bonds with him over their shared experience of caring for parents, using the moment to negotiate a truce. Back at the company, Ji-hye and Chun-gu plot to sabotage the team. When an emergency livestream is called, the Mother TF team eagerly volunteers despite Ji-hyuk's protests. Darim and Ji-hyuk run errands for the broadcast and participate in a couples competition at a baby store, resulting in an accidental kiss. Though they don't win the contest, Ji-hyuk secretly bribes the winners to secure the baby formula, delighting Darim. During the livestream, misfortune strikes. Nansuk must leave for her sick child, and Jin-hee injures herself, leaving Darim and Go-eun to carry the demonstration. Go-eun grows emotional sharing her struggles as a single mother, leaving Darim to showcase the product. Chun-gu sabotages the event, causing a diaper to leak, and Ji-hyuk steps in to defend her. Darim's night turns even darker when the loan sharks kidnap her, enraged over her earlier police report and demanding more money. They take her to an abandoned building, threatening her life. Just as the situation becomes dire, Ji-hyuk makes a dramatic entrance, flaunting his black card and offering to buy her freedom, asserting control and protecting her once again. Ji-hyuk rescues Darim from the kidnappers, scolding them for threatening her and carrying her to safety when her legs give out. He bandages her hands and offers ointment, insisting she take care of herself. Darim thanks him and promises to repay the money, but Ji-hyuk casually tells her to put it off. Seon-yu watches from his window, noticing how attentive Ji-hyuk is toward Darim. At home, Kim-jun nudges his father, Seon-yu, to date Hayoung. Meanwhile, Ji-hyuk replays the rescue in his mind, insisting to himself that his concern for Darim is purely professional, though he can't deny he feels protective. The next day at work, the team braces for fallout from the livestream, but Ji-hyuk and Jae-young-min show that it actually boosted the brand's image, thanks largely to Go-eun's heartfelt story as a single mother. Ji-hye and Chung-gu are caught off guard, while the chairman grows more impressed with Ji-hyuk's leadership. Ji-hyuk, now fully invested, insists on signing off on every decision, joking he's burning with passion as a leader. Darim presents a repayment contract to Ji-hyuk, who only asks for the principal. He also questions why her husband didn't pick her up from work, prompting a playful argument that leaves him pettily controlling her daily habits, insisting she stay healthy. Hyang grows more infatuated with Seon-yu after seeing him in casual moments, and begins working her charm. At the same time, Ji-hye sends the Mother TF team to revive a neglected company park, once managed by Ji-hyuk's mother. While the mothers share their labor experiences, Darim uses her birth story to navigate their questions about parenting. The team praises her husband, which infuriates Ji-hyuk. Darim and Ji-hyuk bond further when she photographs him at a tree he planted with his mother, teasing him and playfully chasing him. They learn the company is considering selling the park, prompting Darim to suggest a tree planting campaign for environmental and social impact, reminding Ji-hyuk of his mother's dream. That night, Ji-hyuk promises his mom he'll make it happen. The following day, Ji-hyuk pitches the campaign to the board. While Ji-hye objects, the chairman supports the idea and demands competitive presentations from each team. The Mother TF team initially feels intimidated, but Ji-hyuk encourages them to leverage their experience as mothers, turning it into an advantage. A rivalry with the marketing team fuels their determination to succeed. Ji-hyuk enlists Hyang for the project, agreeing to hire Seon-yu as the photographer after seeing his work. Darim and Seon-yu join the project, revealing to Hyang that they are married, which she agrees to play along with. The Mother TF team welcomes the couple, curious about their story, and swoons when Seon-yu explains he has loved Darim since childhood. Ji-hyuk and Hyang secretly burn with jealousy. During the project, Darim and Seon-yu's teamwork sparks more jealousy in Ji-hyuk and Hyang. That evening, at a group dinner, Darim steps out for fresh air, and Ji-hyuk follows to check on her. Outside, Hyang confesses her feelings to Seon-yu with a kiss, while Ji-hyuk quietly shields Darim from witnessing the moment. Hyang suddenly kisses Seon-yu, confessing her feelings and promising to win him over, even though she knows he has feelings for Darim. Ji-hyuk prevents Darim from witnessing the moment, subtly reminding her later of the love advice he gave her in Jeju, though she doesn't understand he's referring to her fake marriage. Seon-yu calls Darim, and they rejoin the group, both struggling with stress and conflicting emotions. Darim's gastritis worsens, and Seon-yu offers to sleep on the floor to avoid disturbing her. Both of them lie awake, frustrated by misunderstandings about each other's feelings. At work, Ji-hyuk keeps an eye on Darim, inadvertently joining her and the Mother TF team for lunch. Conversations about marital affairs make him increasingly protective and worried. Meanwhile, at the hospital, In-Ae's past wrist injuries trigger an awkward moment with Myung-soon. Darim brings home baby lotion to test with Seon-yu and Kim-jun, leading to a flustered moment when she sniffs his hand. Hyang's parents finally approve her working with Seon-yu after learning it was Ji-hyuk's idea, while Ji-hyuk watches anxiously as Seon-yu and Hyang spend time together at the office. His jealousy peaks when he sees them playfully interacting and going off for a photo shoot, all while trying to shield Darim from seeing it. Darim's stress worsens, and Ji-hyuk takes care of her with abalone porridge and ginger tea for her stomach. He confronts Hyang, accusing her of threatening Darim's marriage and even jokingly offering to marry Hyang himself if she stops interfering. She is frustrated, unable to reveal the truth about Darim's fake marriage. Ahead of the competitive pitch, Darim returns Ji-hyuk the laminated clover leaf as a lucky charm. The Mother TF team's presentation wins, impressing the chairman and earning a celebratory dinner. Darim notices Ji-hyuk's attentiveness and reflects on his kindness. She drunkenly confesses that she knows he is considerate, but believes it's only because he is her boss and doesn't want to burden him, eventually falling asleep on his shoulder. Meanwhile, Seon-yu finishes his photo shoot with Hyang and texts Darim to pick her up, but she refuses. The next morning, she wakes up unsure how she got home, assuming she took a taxi. As memories of the previous night slowly return, she recalls almost kissing Ji-hyuk, leaving her flustered. Ji-hyuk lies that he doesn't remember either, sparing her embarrassment. Chung-gu finds a photo of Darim leaning on Ji-hyuk's shoulder and schemes with Ji-hye to frame him in a scandal. That evening, Darim works late on a press release, pushing herself despite her condition. Ji-hyuk fetches materials for her and finds her pale and in pain. He insists on taking her to the hospital, ignoring her protests, and she is treated for stress. While she sleeps, missing CNU's calls, Ji-hyuk intentionally keeps her phone off, deciding he wants to be the only one looking out for her. CNU visits Myung soon, and the other women assume he's her son-in-law, but she clarifies he's like a son to her. Meanwhile, Ji-hyuk stays by Darim's side at the hospital, insisting she spend the night there. As he adjusts her bed, they nearly kiss, but a nurse interrupts. Ji-hyuk stays awake all night watching over her, and Darim is touched in the morning, hesitating before reaching for his hand. Hayoung's brother Tae-young arrives in Seoul, revealing himself to be entitled and difficult. He is temporarily in town from America, where he manages the family business, divorced, and facing a matchmaking party from his mother. Hayoung continues trying to win over CNU, cooking for him and spending time with June, who supports her efforts. At work, Chong-ho officially launches the Natural BB environmental project. The Mother TF team participates in a tree planting event, bringing their children along. Ji-hae tries to spy on Darim and Ji-hyuk through Chung-gu, but he falls asleep and misses everything. During the event, Darim names a tree after her father and opens up to Ji-hyuk about his influence. The team works and flirts, while Chung-gu fails to catch any incriminating moments. Meanwhile, Tae-young visits Ji-hae's dog shelter, revealing a past romantic connection and explaining why he left her. Ji-hae, ambitious and determined, sends him away. Back at the park, Daesung goes missing, and Darim follows his trail, falling into a valley and passing out. Ji-hyuk finds her and keeps her warm with his jacket as it rains, growing feverish in the process. Darim realizes he remembers her drunk confession from the previous night, and he almost kisses her before CNU arrives. Ji-hyuk instinctively pulls Darim to his side, shocking CNU, but releases her when the rescue team arrives. Later, Hayoung continues collecting information on CNU through June. On the ride home, CNU suggests Darim quit her job, concerned about her safety around Ji-hyuk, but Darim defends him and insists she won't rely on CNU financially. Ji-hyuk, meanwhile, reflects on the park incident during a ride home with Jaeyoung-min. Chong-ho visits In-ae at the hospital as a PR stunt. In-ae hides and confides in Myung-soon about her difficult marriage, receiving advice to consider her own happiness. At the office, the Mother TF team receives their first payment. Darim decides to buy Ji-hyuk a gift and pay the first installment of her debt to him. She delivers the food, gift, and money unannounced, but Ji-hyuk scolds her for coming, leaving her heartbroken. Later, Ji-hyuk has a nightmare confronting his father, which leaves him feeling guilty about his feelings for Darim. Meanwhile, Hayoung and Ji-hyuk dine with their families, where Ji-hyuk unexpectedly announces he wants to get married as soon as possible, shocking Hayoung. Ji-hyuk and his mother, In-ae, go to a lunch with Hayoung's family. In-ae worries about failing him as a mom, but Ji-hyuk reassures her, acting excited about marrying Hayoung. At the meeting, he abruptly announces he wants to marry Hayoung immediately, shocking her and prompting the elders to start planning the engagement. Privately, Hayoung refuses to marry him, but Ji-hyuk dares her to tell her parents, and she backs down. In-ae later learns that Ji-hyuk is only marrying Hayoung to end her affair with CNU, leaving her heartbroken. Elsewhere, Tae-young and Ji-hae cross paths. Tae-young offers to team up with Ji-hae to ruin Ji-hyuk, but she refuses, though she's annoyed that Ji-hyuk is gaining ground at the company. Darim, distracted by Ji-hyuk's harsh words, trips on her way to work and injures herself. Despite being hurt, she maintains professionalism and keeps her distance, though Ji-hyuk quickly comes to her aid when she is injured again, scolding her for being clumsy. The office buzzes with gossip about Ji-hyuk's engagement, further frustrating Ji-hae. Chung-gu devises a plan to get Ji-hyuk and Darim alone by sending them to help a couple with quadruplets on a boat. Ji-hyuk and Darim end up caring for the babies together, missing the last boat back. Chung-gu arranges for them to share a hotel room, hiding nearby to take photos. In the room, Ji-hyuk is scared of a spider, and Darim handles it, while Chung-gu misinterprets the commotion as intimacy. That night, Ji-hyuk struggles to sleep, thinking about Darim, and goes for a midnight run to clear his mind. Back in Seoul, Ji-hyuk visits In-ae, who urges him to marry for love, not duty, but he insists on marrying Hayoung to end her affair with CNU. At the wedding shop, Ji-hyuk imagines Darim in Hayoung's gown. Later, he discovers Hayoung is secretly meeting CNU and confronts him, punching him and demanding that nothing like this happen again. CNU apologizes, insisting Hayoung was a mistake and that he loves Darim. Meanwhile, CNU returns home to find Darim tending to him. He feigns a minor accident instead of confessing his feelings, leaving her worried but caring for him. At the office, Chung-gu presents the photos from the trip to Ji-hai, but they aren't convincing. Jae-young-min notices Ji-hyuk's growing unhappiness as the engagement approaches. That night, Ji-hyuk visits Darim's home, sees her enjoying time with Seon-yu and June, and drinks away his frustration. Later, at the engagement day, Ji-hyuk sees Darim arrive and Seon-yu with June in his arms, calling her auntie, which causes him to question everything. Just before the engagement party, In-ae prepares her makeup and thinks about how to save Ji-hyuk, while Ji-hai and Chung-gu plan to sabotage the event with compromising photos of Ji-hyuk and Darim. Outside, Ji-hyuk overhears June calling Darim aunt, and realizes she's been lying to him. At the party, Hayoung refuses to play along, but In-ae faints, canceling the event. On the way to the hospital, she reveals she faked the illness to buy Ji-hyuk more time. Meanwhile, Darim sees the engagement poster and realizes Ji-hyuk is getting engaged that day. In-ae meets her lawyers to discuss her divorce from Chong-ho, planning carefully to protect her property. Back at the office, Ji-hyuk, angered by Darim's lie, makes her redo an invitation letter repeatedly. When Hayoung drops by, Darim misunderstands a confrontation and thinks Ji-hyuk is romantically involved with Hayoung. In reality, Ji-hyuk is only trying to manage the situation and asks Hayoung to maintain the engagement temporarily while he handles his mother's situation. Hayoung, now free of the mistress label, plans to continue pursuing Seon-yu. Ji-hyuk later discusses his future at the company with Chong-ho, angering Ji-hai. Meanwhile, Darim grows frustrated with Ji-hyuk's harsh attitude. When he finally asks her directly about her lie, she confesses, and he fires her on the spot. Concerned about her colleague's reaction, Darim visits her mother at the hospital, where she resolves to convince Ji-hyuk to let her stay. Despite heavy rain, Darim goes to Ji-hyuk's place, and he meets her with an umbrella. She explains herself, and he agrees to consider letting her continue working until she finds another job. Back home, Seon-yu comforts Darim and confesses his feelings, asking her to take her time. She avoids him the next day, feeling awkward. At the office, Ji-hyuk notices Darim helping a cleaner and remembers why he fell for her. He works closely with her on putting up promotion posters, subtly flirting. Seon-yu and Ji-hyuk are also interviewed together, with the men competing out of jealousy, leaving Darim caught in the middle. Later, as Darim prepares to leave for dinner with Seon-yu, Ji-hyuk stops her, pins her against the door, and passionately kisses her, finally revealing his feelings. Ji-hyuk impulsively kisses Darim, and she briefly reciprocates before remembering his engagement to Hayoung. She pushes him away, believing he sees her as a cheap woman. Ji-hyuk chases her to clarify that his engagement is out of duty, but Darim remains convinced he's playing a game to get back at her. She runs into Seon-yu, avoiding dinner plans, and Ji-hyuk is unable to catch up. At home, Darim worries Ji-hyuk is a playboy after misjudging what she saw with Hayoung. Later, she sees him scolding Nansuk and realizes she misinterpreted the earlier situation. She comforts Nansuk, and Ji-hyuk spends the day intentionally teaming up with Darim to prepare for the exhibition, openly flirting and confessing why he likes her. Darim accuses him of bullying. Meanwhile, Hayoung encourages Seon-yu to pursue Darim despite his confession of feelings, joking about handling rejection. At Darim's home, Ji-hyuk and Seon-yu compete for Myong-soon's attention, leading to comical jealousy. In-ae observes and realizes that Ji-hyuk is in love with Darim. Ji-hyuk supports Jae-young-min's office romance, gives his blessing, and continues to subtly flirt with Darim at work. Ji-hai and Chung-gu plot against him, while Tae-young teams up with Ji-hai to try and take control of Natural BB. Darim faces embarrassment when Myong-soon shows old family photos, prompting a family picnic. Ji-hyuk and Seon-yu compete in small contests, with Ji-hyuk sulking comically when he loses. At night, Ji-hyuk treats everyone to dinner, while In-ae explains to Darim that Ji-hyuk is drawn to her because of her warm personality. Darim realizes, recalling all the times he protected and supported her, that Ji-hyuk must be in love with her. During the exhibition, Darim gets jealous when Hayoung and Ji-hyuk act like a couple, but he reassures her. The event is disrupted when a masked man sent by Tae-young tries to start a fire. Ji-hyuk fights the intruder but is overpowered and loses consciousness. Darim bravely rescues him, and once safe, Ji-hyuk confesses that he likes her for who she truly is. Overcome with emotion, Darim kisses him. After rescuing Ji-hyuk from the fire, Darim confesses her love for him. Their moment is interrupted by Jae-young-min and the paramedics, but Ji-hyuk is unharmed and still riding the emotional high of her confession. Meanwhile, Tae-young and Ji-hae plot to oust Ji-hyuk from the company, envious of his success without his father's help. Ji-hyuk and Darim are both giddy and restless, thinking about each other. At work, they steal small private moments, and Ji-hyuk marks their first day of dating by sending her flowers, hiding their relationship behind playful scolding. On the work front, Ji-hyuk investigates the fire incident, retrieving CCTV footage from Hayoung to uncover the culprit. Seon-yu shares drinks with Darim but leaves abruptly when sensing rejection. Ji-hyuk and Darim also bond while organizing old company documents for In-ae's divorce, deepening their connection. Hayoung prepares for her wedding, while Tae-young warns her against pursuing the fire incident further. She also comforts Seon-yu after Darim rejects him, promising to wait while he sorts out his feelings. At Natural BB, Ji-hae and Chung-gu try to overwhelm the Mother TF team by assigning them difficult customer calls, while Darim and her colleagues cope with the challenges. Hayoung visits Darim, sharing her goal to win Seon-yu, and the two end up drunk. Ji-hyuk and Seon-yu scramble to take care of them, highlighting Ji-hyuk's role as Darim's protector. The next day, Darim faces a scandal when a dissatisfied parent posts a fake complaint online. The situation escalates with angry parents and reporters, but the Mother TF team rallies to protect her. Darim sacrifices herself to save a baby from an accident, winning over the complaining mother, who retracts the scathing post. After resolving the crisis, Ji-hyuk and Darim celebrate with the team, but Ji-hae interrupts, revealing Darim's certificate of marital status, proving she is unmarried, setting the stage for further tension. So-young apologizes to Darim and Ji-hyuk for the earlier trouble, revealing she had wanted to join the Mother TF team after her ex-husband abandoned her but was never picked. Ji-hyuk reassures Darim, but she feels guilty for taking a spot she thinks she didn't deserve. Ji-hae and Tae-young continue plotting against Ji-hyuk, using Darim's unmarried status to try to get him removed from the company. They suggest a press conference, but Ji-hyuk insists on a press release to protect So-young. Meanwhile, Darim is named Employee of the Month, but her guilt causes her to distance herself from the team. Hayoung secretly shops for June's event, while Seon-yu misses picking up his son on time but makes it up by promising to practice with him. Ji-hyuk discovers Ji-hae's sabotage in the recruitment documents, realizing the Mother TF team was set up to fail. When Darim tries to resign, Ji-hyuk refuses and encourages her to stay, praising her as the heart of the team. He also foils Ji-hae's plan to set them up with a new product challenge. Jin-hee notices Ji-hyuk and Darim hugging, causing the team to act strangely around her until Darim comes clean. The team fully supports her relationship with Ji-hyuk. At June's school event, Hayoung steps in to perform with Seon-yu, though he asks her to keep her distance. Tae-young tries to provoke Ji-hyuk at the office but is quickly shut down. The team continues developing a new product, and at a team dinner, they tease Ji-hyuk about his Dynamite Kiss with Darim in Jeju. Ji-hyuk and Darim reconcile fully, with Darim apologizing for her past deception. Ji-hyuk assures her it's behind them, promising to hold on to her. They make love and spend the weekend together. In-ae checks if Myung-soon approves of Ji-hyuk as Darim's partner but is disappointed, citing social class differences. Hayoung admits her feelings for Seon-yu but refuses to marry an inconsiderate man like her father. Myoke attempts to bribe Seon-yu but changes her mind after seeing his integrity. Meanwhile, the Mother TF team researches and develops a lighter, more ergonomic baby carrier. Ji-hyuk admires Darim's dedication but wishes he had more time with her. Just as the team celebrates the prototype, Jae-young-min shows a similar product from a competitor, and Chong-ho arrives, slapping Darim, leaving them shocked. Darim tests the baby carrier prototype at home while Ji-hyuk helps with chores, and their mothers notice their growing romantic bond. Ji-hyuk openly admits his love for Darim, surprising Myung-soon, though Darim reassures him her mother's reaction is positive. Back in the office, Chong-ho lashes out at Darim, accusing her of being a corporate spy, while an auditor interrogates her, using her past deception as evidence. Ji-hae stokes the tension by showing Ji-hyuk photos of Darim, claiming his judgment is clouded by love. Despite the scrutiny, Ji-hyuk supports Darim and defends her in front of the staff. Most of the office turns against her, but her team consistently protects her. Ji-hae convinces Darim to take the blame to safeguard Ji-hyuk's succession plan, and Darim reluctantly agrees. Meanwhile, Hayoung struggles with her heartbreak over Seon-yu's rejection, while Myoke attempts to intervene, but Seon-yu insists he is not ready to welcome anyone into his life. Ji-hyuk investigates the corporate espionage and discovers that Darim's confession was unnecessary. Jae-young-min traces the crime to Nam Soo-yeon, who is linked to the masked man from the fire incident. He rushes to tell Darim but finds she has gone to the countryside with Myung-soon to recover. In the village, Darim helps her family on the farm. Her uncle tries to set her up with her childhood friend Sang-sik, but she is preoccupied with Ji-hyuk's love confession, recorded during their work on the baby carrier. That night, Ji-hyuk arrives, and after a brief misunderstanding with her family, he stays, using the visit as a chance to convince her to return to the city with him. The next day, Ji-hyuk tries to impress Darim on the farm but struggles with the work, feeling jealous as Sang-sik excels. Darim helps him recover and scolds him, which he interprets as care, softening her resistance. Ultimately, Darim is won over by Ji-hyuk's persistence and charm. With Darim back in his arms, Ji-hyuk returns to Seoul to resolve the corporate issues. Myung-soon and Darim prepare him for the challenge, moved by his determination. Ji-hae calls a press conference to defame Ji-hyuk and sway shareholders, only to be confronted by his unexpected appearance to defend himself. Ji-hyuk listens to Darim's recording and notices a detail she missed. Meanwhile, Tae-young is approached by a client, David, who wants to acquire Natural BB, revealing a bigger scheme against Ji-hyuk. At the shareholders' meeting, Ji-hae exposes Ji-hyuk's relationship with Darim and Chong-ho's embezzlement. The shareholders vote against Ji-hyuk, but he and In-ae present evidence proving Ji-hae and Tae-young's crimes. In-ae also announces her divorce and takes control of her shares, nullifying the vote. After the meeting, Tae-young attacks Ji-hyuk, running him over. Ji-hyuk is hospitalized and falls into a coma for a month, while Darim stays by his side. Ji-hae testifies against Tae-young, leading to his arrest, and Chong-ho is eventually forced to sign divorce papers and face justice. When Ji-hyuk wakes, he has no memories of Darim and believes she is deceiving him. Despite her efforts to recreate their memories, he insists on breaking up, and they spend a year apart. During this time, In-ae supports Darim, gifting her family home back and helping her start her own company, while Ji-hyuk rebuilds his career. A year later, Darim travels to Jeju to find her sister and unexpectedly encounters Ji-hyuk at the hotel where they first kissed. A slip leads to a kiss that restores Ji-hyuk's memories, and they rekindle their relationship. Ha-young reconciles with her feelings for Se-in-yu, hinting at a possible future together. The series concludes with a flash-forward. Ji-hyuk and Darim are happily married with 2 children, Jae-young-min and Go-eun are expecting, and the Mother TF team continues to grow alongside Ji-hyuk and Darim's company. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more K-drama recaps.